Hello everyone, it is Carrie, Miss Carrie to the teens out there. We are back with another Crafternoon live today. Just checking in now to make sure we are in landscape and I can see us. Awesome. So now I can see any comments you leave. So today we are going to be making our tassel necklaces. So I've done two different types here. You can use a lot of different threads for this project, kind of whatever you have lying around. I'm using embroidery floss, which you guys might have used for friendship bracelets or other crafts. I know pearl floss can work well. I know even just sewing thread, if you really want a fine tassel, can work too. I have done just the floss as is for this one. It's kind of chunkier, so if you're looking for that fine floss for your tassel, you can, what I do is I unthread one of these strings. So I go in and I separate the threads. And I know if you've done friendship bracelets and stuff with these threads, these threads coming apart is the bane of your existence. But in this case, we want it to happen. So what you would do is, the key to doing it is taking apart one at a time. Because if you do one at a time, then it won't get bunched up. You can just hold the rest in your hand and it will de-thread. And depending on how you want your tassel, how thick you want it to be, you can bunch up 2 or 3. This one I did had 2 of the strings. So that's how I got the nice slim tassel. That looks really pretty. I think that would be a great necklace. I am gonna do our full thread just for this demonstration, just because I think it'll look a little better on camera and you'll be able to see the detail. So what you're gonna need for the project itself, let's put them over here so we can be inspired, are some scissors. They don't need to be tiny and small like mine. That's just what I have readily available. Get this out of the way. And then some embroidery floss or whatever string you have. You just need one color. I'm gonna be using 2 just so you can see the difference when I do the extra detailing. And then a little bit of cardboard. No, not cardboard, cardstock. Sorry about that, guys. That's gonna help us decide how long our tassel is gonna be. So kind of find something depending on your length. I had a smaller one for this one, and then this one is this size tassel. A great place to find some cardstock is in your recycling bin from the mail, your junk mail. If I know teens don't get that, but I'm sure your parents have a nice chunk of junk mail. Or these are from a packet of socks I got. So just look around your house. I'm sure you'll find some cardstock, even if you don't have the paper cardstock handy. So once you got your thread ready, let me just find the end of mine. If you're gonna pre-measure out your string, I would do like double your wingspan. So from hand to hand, when you go out into your T-pose, then I would do double that, just so you have enough to wrap around. For these, I did about like 25 for this one. And then for this, I think I did like 30. So it takes a little bit of patience and some time. All right, so finally to get into the craft, what we're gonna do, we're gonna start wrapping around our cardstock. So leave a little tail end just to hold on to, and we're gonna wrap around. And we are gonna wrap many times. So I'm gonna go quiet for a second so I can count. And 24, 25. Oop. Hang on, my stream just went down, so I'm making sure that we're still going. It might just be my computer. Okay, we're here. Good. All right, so now that you got that ready, what we are gonna do is wrap around once more so that you have 2 strings hanging off the bottom. And then we're gonna cut off right there. You can leave a little tail end just to be safe. That's kind of my safety guard. When I do that, it just makes me feel safer. All right, and we're gonna get a new little piece of string. This one, we're gonna be knotting the top to hold our stuff together. Use a bit extra because we are going to be doing a double knot. This is where our cardstock comes in handy because we can bend it and we can slip our string right underneath. And so now we're gonna tie it off at the top. Kind of make sure your strings are lined up to a nice even point. So when you tie this, it's gonna be a very tight knot to try to hold it all together and keep straight. So when you tie this knot, it's just a normal one, but we're gonna do a double knot. So bunch it as tight as you can. But remember, depending on how much string, what kind of string you're using, it does break. So watch that. Tie it super tight. And then you might want to hold it in place. And that way it's nice and tight under your finger, and then try to do a one-handed knot under pressure. There we go. All right. And we'll tie tight, tight, tight. Oh, sometimes I'm going off camera. Sorry, guys. And then tight, 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 tight. Let's see how we did. Take a look at your tassel. Those aren't my tie ones. All right, mine's pretty loose. I hope you guys did a little better than I did. But if you're really concerned about that knot, you can always try again. But don't worry, we eventually are going to get rid of that. So now we're going to take our chain and we're going to do the same thing we did with our knot string. So we're going to unhook our chain and we're going to go underneath our tassel. Once again, thankfully our cardstock is nice and bendable, so we can slip right under. And then we're going to hook it together so it can't go anywhere. Tassel can't get away from us. Now we are going to hook it off. Kind of give it a nice comb through. Try to get your string lying flat. And then get your knot strings up and away like the chain. All right, so now we're gonna take a new piece of thread. So for you guys, you're gonna use the same color. I'm gonna use a slightly different color of blue, just so you guys can see the details a little better. But you guys would just take a different color of the same thread you're using. And we are going to take another piece of it, take the top of it and put it up where your knot strings are. Hold that in place. For me, if you let little ends a little longer as a safety line, now's the time to give them a chop, because otherwise they'll just get in your way. So now you're going to take the end of your new piece of thread and put it up. Leave a little space because we will be tying a knot with it. And now we're going to make a loop with our new piece of string. I'm going to be holding it together with our thumb at the top. Make sure you leave it a little longer because we're going to be making our, what would you call this? Like little base, little, I think of it as the neck of the tassel because we're going to be making our neck now. So our loop here is actually going to help us tie off our neck of the tassel. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start wrapping around. So whoop, you're going to kind of pick where you want your head of your tassel, like how big you want it. And then you're going to start wrapping around and make sure that you cover the loop that you just made. Gotta brush out my tassel a little so it stays together better. And these are going to be as tight as you can make it, so it's got a nice tight neck. You're gonna wrap it around. I did only a couple on these. I would say I did like 6 or 7. I think a longer neck is a little better, so let's do 10. How many do I have right now? I think I have 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoop, that one came loose. It's a little easier when you're got a little more movement than I do. All right, so let's check on our hook. Oh gosh, did mine not stay down? Oh wait, which part of that is this? Oh. Well, I got a little turned around, guys. Give me a second to get rid of this extra hook. Usually you try to do something. It's okay, because that way you don't make the same mistake. We gotta make sure we get our loop. Keep it a little long. Perfect. All right, and then you make, see, that's probably what went wrong last time. Take your loop and make sure it's a nice one, nice and tight. All right, let's try again. Wrapping around the back this time. Making sure my tassel behaves. Seven, 8, 9. All right. Hopefully your tassel behaved a little nicer than mine's been. Nearly lost my loop. All right, so if you can still see your loop down at the bottom, you are gonna cut off your neck string and just leave a little space because we are going to take our string through this loop so we can tie it off. Gonna pull her through. And now we are going to pull our top string from our neck string. And we're gonna pull it tight. And this is gonna take our knot and hide it beneath our neck. So then it won't show. Very nice. And now, once we make sure that hidden knot is nice and tight and hidden, we can just cut off the ends. If you have a little bit of fabric glue, you can put it on the end of a needle and just put it on the end of the knot, and that way you are super sure that that knot is secure and will stay in place. All right, and now we finally get to cut the ends of our tassel. So we just go through the loops and just cut them off. Got an extra one hiding. And if they are kind of scattered, not all the same length, then you can just give them a little haircut. Sorry, I'm right-handed, so it's gonna get kind of flipped over. But yeah, just find what seems to be like the shortest of your threads and then cut them off so they're neat. And so then all you have to do is cut off your top knot now, because you don't need it. Apologies, my cat has decided to make her live debut again. So you can cut off the extra strings, then you can sort of cut through the knot that we made. It should come apart. Be careful not to cut the strings that make up the tassel itself. But if you do, just stick them under.